A very good morning to you, Sakina, and to our viewers at home. You are indeed right. We are on a mission to find solutions, not only for South Africa, but for the African continent, where the issues or the challenges around energy are concerned. Today, marking day one of the Africa Energy Indaba in its 15th installment to date, and we're coming to you live, you're right, from the Cape Town International Convention Center in the mother city. This is where, role players will converge here from this morning in the 3 days. They'll be crafting those solutions. This coming through at a pivotal time, Sakina, for our country right now, when we've just seen the installment of the new Minister of Electricity in Dr. Kgosientsho Ramokgopa. So that is a developing story that will also see, some of those role players that are here just try to understand how the country is going to move in terms of finding solutions for the load shedding crisis that is playing out in the country. I'm going to bring into the conversation now the chairperson of the Africa Energy Indaba, Mr. Brian Statham, who'll just let us in really on what we can expect in the 3 days. An exciting one coming through at a time, sir, when we know very well that for the past 3 years or so, this was held virtually. But this time around, it's an exciting one because we're seeing those role players coming under the same roof physically. So welcome to the SABC.
Good morning, and thank you very much for giving us the chance to talk to you. It's indeed very exciting, which is a measure of why we've got 800 delegates. We had to close registration last night because we're at capacity, and that shows the importance of energy to the African continent as a whole. Over the next couple of days, we're going to be looking at energy in 3 ways. We're going to be looking at it from a point of climate change, and we're going to be debating whether the funding that's linked to climate change is appropriate for Africa. We're going to be looking at whether zero carbon is a realistic aspiration for Africa. Then we're going to be looking at renewables. But we're not going to be looking at renewables from a technology point of view per se. We're going to be saying what's going to happen in the next cycle. How are we going to dispose of the solar panels, the glass? How are we going to dispose of the batteries? All these things could become an environmental issue of their own. So we're going to be looking at environment linking to renewables. We're also going to be looking at off-grid in terms of rural energification. And we're going to look at that not only again in terms of technology, but we're going to look at it in terms of job creation, how that impacts on the lives of people. We're going to be looking at energy for mobility. And again, not in terms of fancy electric SUVs, but in terms of 2-wheel, 3-wheel electric powered vehicles, which will make a massive difference in the rural context, where the first mile and the last mile of any commute is a huge problem for so many people. Now, if you haven't been fortunate enough to register for this event, you can still come to the exhibition. The exhibition is free to enter, and as you can see behind me, there's a massive exhibition here, and you can talk to the exhibitors, and you can network with all the people who are here to engage together in finding solutions for Africa's problems. It's a really exciting time to be in Cape Town.
Brian, we know very well that the energy or the mineral and energy minister, Gwede Mantashe, will also be opening and giving a keynote address here, just addressing some of those delegates that will be gathering here for the coming 3 days. Also, this event coming through at a time when last night President Cyril Ramaphosa made changes to his cabinet, introducing the inaugural Ministry of Electricity in the country. How is that going to feature here? Are we expecting to see some of those developments being discussed in the 3 days?
I'm sure they're going to be discussed because it is a major step forward in terms of giving a focus. South Africa is not alone in terms of having load shedding. There are a lot of countries across the continent who have challenges in terms of electricity capacity. So the way that we tackle it and the way we deal with it is going to be an opportunity for other people to learn from our successes and our mistakes. And equally well, we will learn from what other people are trying to do and how they're doing it. But appointing a Minister for Electricity is in fact a major step forward because it gives us a very clear point of focus on this burning issue that is having such an impact both on social development and economic development. So it's exciting.
Brian Statham, thank you very much, sir, for your time. He's coming through as the chairperson of the Africa Energy Indaba. That event is expected to get underway from 9 o'clock, and this is where we'll see Minerals and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe give a keynote address in opening this event here, coming through at a time when the country and the continent have been grappling for solutions. This issue of the energy crisis just cutting across various industries. We are told, Sakina, that as the load shedding persists in the country is losing daily around 1.5 to 4 billion rand just from the load shedding alone. So some of those solutions are going to be discussed here, the renewable energy, the funding of these solutions. We'll be seeing, of course, also exhibitions from the role players, various companies that will be joining exhibitors here in trying to craft those solutions, not just for South Africa, but for Africa. Sakina?